This is Kevin Dethelwell, and you're watching Voice of the Heroes.
What's good, everybody? It's the one and only one Fleeboy Jetson, and I am your host to the #1 anime podcast in the world, Voice of the Heroes. So if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you don't miss any interviews or discussions with your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today we have a very special guest. Brook Chalmers is in the building. Welcome. Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm always good. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. Well, speaking of amazing, you have played in so many epic and amazing animes such as JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Demon Slayers, One Punch Man, etc. Out of all those great animes, are there any characters that you really love? Like that's your one and only?
I gotta say Urokodaki from Demon Slayer.
Urokodaki.
I lived with him the longest. I got to do the video game with him as well, so I feel like I explored a huge amount of like him, and he's resonated well with the fans. And yeah, he's
one of my personal favorites. And matter of fact, let's just go there since you brought up the video game. I'm a huge fan of the video game. He's actually my main fighter. Even on my YouTube channel, I made a video of him. So this interview is definitely even more hype for me. Now we haven't seen him since season 1. And with Demon Slayers basically wrapping up in the manga and the anime, what are the chances you think we'll see him again?
Well, have you watched the new the Hashira training arc?
Right now I'm currently on episode 6. But go ahead. Spoilers below. We're gonna get into it.
It's not really a spoiler, but you do see him. Right, you see him like guarding, I guess, Nezuko. But as far as I know, we'll see. I hope he does. He's still floating around, and I'm sure he can fight.
So, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you know, the next arc is going to be huge. It'll probably be the wrap up for it. So you know, all arms are going to be called. All hands on deck. It's gonna be all out war. I can't wait. What got you that role? Like, how did you get into the Demon Slayer Corps?
So that was like, when was that? Mid 2019, early 2019. I had been getting auditions from Bang Zoom and everything, and I got this one, and it was unique because it was the first anime audition I had gotten where they actually sent the video along with it and time codes. So, which was great because I could hear what the original Japanese actor did. I'm like, oh, okay, I see where they're going with this. And so I just, I did my thing. And then, it was like a couple of weeks later, I got the email. It was like, hey, you're in, you got it. And so, but it was funny because like I hadn't read the manga at that point. So I didn't really realize how big the show was going to be. And so it was, and it was funny because at the time when we recorded, I think all of the Japanese episodes were out, and I had told myself, I don't want to watch ahead. I just want to watch up until my part, of my episode. And I started watching it and I couldn't stop. I ended up finishing the whole season.
It's really a good anime. One of the best in the world right now, man. I'm so happy for you on that note. We also seen you play a heavy role in Netflix properties, the world of, what is it called? Arcadia? Something like that?
Yeah, Arcadia Oaks.
Yeah, Arcadia Oaks. You had Troll Hunters, Three Below, Wizards. A lot of those I watched with my kids and by myself. Man, you know what I mean? It's a guilty pleasure. I'm not even gonna lie. If y'all haven't seen Troll Hunters, I definitely recommend that one highly, man. It's a great cartoon, anime, whatever you feel like calling it. But you was the production supervisor on those, and even a voice director for some. Can you tell us if we'll ever get to see that world again, or it in the future?
I mean, who knows? I don't think so, only because I think Guillermo's original plan was the 3 series and then a wrap-up movie, like kind of like an Avengers, where they got everybody together, and we successfully did that. So I think that the initial story arc that he wanted to tell, he told. So, I mean, if they called and said we want to do more, I'm sure every single person that worked on that would be like, yes, let's do it. Because, I mean, we all had such an awesome time on it. But as of now, I don't think anything's happening, but who knows?
Well, I hope we do, because that was definitely amazing storytelling and, great art that we seen in that, great voice acting all across the board. Are any of the shows, Troll Hunter, Three Below, or Zeros, you know, you are your favorites? Like, what's your favorite out of the three?
Um, I mean, Troll Hunters would be the easy answer because that was the biggest one. It's the one that started everything. I would, but that's that. Wizards, I would say, because that was the first full series that I got to voice direct. So I feel like
And how was that for you?
awesome. It was
He said,
you know,
awesome, man. What
it
you
was
talking
awesome.
about?
I mean, it was great. I had been in the room watching other voice directors work for 8 years, and so I was sort of just learning through osmosis. Being an actor also helped inform me because I kind of wanted to be the director I would want to work with. And so when the opportunity came up and they were like, "All right, you're going to voice direct this," it was I felt like I was ready. It wasn't like I felt unprepared. I felt like it had been something I'd been sort of just training for, and was able to just step right into when it happened.
That's great. Now, after Troll Hunters, I mean, after basically Wizards, which was that your debut voice directing,
I had
or have you done
yes,
some work before?
I had voice directed a little, maybe about half of the How to Train Your Dragon TV series finale. And then I had directed a little bit here and there in Three Below, and then I directed the series finale of Three Below. But yeah, Wizards was the first big one that I did
Mm.
from start to finish.
Was you able to, like, branch off after that? Like, what did you voice direct after that? What's some of the
Yes.
properties that you got to work on?
So Star Trek Prodigy at Nickelodeon,
Man,
which
how was
now
that call? How was that call,
it
man?
was the it was it's funny because I grew up watching Star Trek. I was a big Star Trek fan my whole life. And when the Hageman brothers called and said, "Hey, we got a project we're working on," we told them we wanted you to voice direct at Star Trek. I was like, I couldn't say yes fast enough. I couldn't believe it. Um, so yeah, it was like there was that, and then the Steve Urkel Christmas special at Warner Brothers. That was a,
That
that was a, that was a riot. Um, a bunch of stuff at DreamWorks too. Like I helped out a show called Curses. Crudes helped out on Dragon's Nine Realms. Um, the
working.
spirit, yeah, it
Love it.
was, yeah, and now second seat directing on Genshin Impact, and I've got a preschool show at DreamWorks, which we haven't announced. Well, it's been announced, but they haven't said who's on it. But that's gonna hopefully hit pretty soon. And yeah, so just
That follows into my next question, right? When you brought up Genshin Impact, you worked on
yeah.
so many video games. Are there any of those properties you would like to see turned into an anime?
Well, I mean, Genshin just looks like an anime already. So
True.
I think, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Genshin as an anime just because there's so many side stories and backgrounds and backstories that they could easily flesh out like in an anime that they just don't have time for in the game. And I think people would eat it up, it's for sure.
Definitely. As a voice actor, right? What's the biggest misconception about voice acting?
Uh, that it that's a tricky one. I guess the biggest misconception is, oh, I've been told I have a nice voice, and they feel like that's all they need. And I always have to remind people, no, acting is half of the title. You need to be an actor, you know, and having the nice voice and being able to do things is great. But it's really the acting and the performance. You can be the best sounding person in the world, but if you can't perform, it's going to fall flat.
What inspired you to become an actor?
Um, yeah, I never was. I mean, I didn't really ever want to be. I think that was the thing. I got in my senior year of high school, I got into choir and a musical, and I was like, okay, this feels pretty cool. I like doing this. And I had always been told, I had a big voice even as a teenager, and um yeah, but I never did anything with it. I just imitated people from The Simpsons and stuff. And But I got into the musical and I started kind of honing my, oh wow, this is cool. But I still like I had wanted to go in the military,
Oh,
and so uh, after high school, I was getting ready to go in, and I got into like a theater production, and it was literally like a 180. I'm like, nah, this is what I want to do. It was, I don't, and I don't know if it was the universe or whatever came down and said, no, do this instead. And yeah, and that just sort of set me on the path. But it was weird. I think it was I always tell people be open to other opportunities or possibilities, because sometimes we get so like, this is all I'm going to do, this is what I want to do, and then like what you're really supposed to be doing is knocking on the door. You got to listen to that kind of stuff.
definitely. You got to go for that opportunity when it calls. Are there any characters that you voice acted in your career that, their lines resonate with you on a personal level or have resonated with you?
I think I think it's another Demon Slayer. It's an Urokodaki scene, and it's when Tanjiro comes back from final selection.
Mm,
And it's that scene, Urokodaki has been sending people off, these kids off for season after season after season, and they never come back. It's sad. He's just sending children into a meat grinder, not realizing what's going on. And so he sets up an impossible task for Tanjiro: cut this boulder, thinking that he can't possibly do it, right? So he won't have to suffer this pain again. Tanjiro does it. He has no choice. He sends him. And it's that scene where Tanjiro comes back and Urokodaki hugs him and like Nezuko. And it's very simple. He just says, "You came back." And
mm, mm.
it hit me, because it's like I was able to, think like, oh my gosh, what would happen if I hadn't seen one of my kids for so long? It was just, there was a lot of emotion, and it was very emotional in the booth. And it was crazy is we had to re-record when we did the video game. We practically just re-recorded everything we had done in the show again for the game, and then added stuff too. So I got to do that whole scene again, and it was like just reliving it all over again. But yeah, that scene will stick with me forever. There was just so much like emotion and power, and like grief and love at the same time. It was a lot going on, but that I think resonated sort of the most with
Now, like we say, you voice acted in a couple great animes, right? Are there any upcoming or ongoing anime projects you might have been a part of in some type of way that you would like to come back or be a part of?
me. Yeah, I mean, my character in One Punch Man, Bomb, I know they're doing a season 3, and he didn't die at the end, so I'd love to play him again, because he was like a badass. I mean, he was like super strong, and him and his brother Bang had that giant fight with Goro and stuff. So I'd love to revisit
One
Bomb.
Punch Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. He
I
was
ain't
he
gonna
was
lie, I'm excited for season 3 too because there was a lot of stuff that happened in the manga, and I want to see if they're gonna, base that season off of that or go a different route. So I'm excited for that. Now, your opinion only matters. We don't care about the popular opinion. We don't care about none of that other stuff. What are your top 3 animes of all time?
Oh my gosh. All
Yeah,
right.
you about
So
to piss a lot of people off.
you know what? Everyone has a top. We're all on a different journey. All right.
True.
So, top 3. All right. Number 1, Record of Lotus War. It's old school, right?
Ooh.
But
I'm
I
loving the
I
list already.
I loved it. Number 2, and this is a weird one, Escaflowne, because I watched it with my wife, and it is literally the only anime she's watched from beginning to end.
Oh, so that got sentimental value.
Yeah. And then I think my third, I think it has to be Demon Slayer, and it's kind of a cop out because I know it's popular, but it sort of helped launch me as an anime actor as well. And I think that because of that, and plus, I would enjoy the hell out of it even if I wasn't in it. It's just, it's
It's
so,
really good. I
it's
love it.
so fun to watch. And, uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really a beautiful anime.
So I think that's my top 3. A couple of old schoolers and a new one.
Okay, cool. Do you have any upcoming projects or conventions that you can talk about?
Yeah, well, conventions, I will be at Anime St. Pete, St. Petersburg, Florida at the end of September. So go see me. Come see
Definitely.
me in Florida.
If you could send me a link, man, we'll put it in the description for all the
Okay.
heroes out there watching, man. Go get your tickets if you're anywhere in Florida area. Go see this man. Great vibes, man. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Once again, heroes, it's been a blast. For more interviews and discussions, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Brooke, you got anything to say before we get up out of here?
I mean, you know, I've played heroes and I've played villains. So the fact that I'm on this podcast, I feel like I checked all the boxes.
Hey, before we go, one more last question. I know the community want to hear
Let's
it.
do it.
What do you love playing more, a hero or a villain?
Villain. Because villains are the heroes of their own stories.
And they're more fun to play with, man. You get to do a lot of wild stuff with it.
Yep.
All right, man. You have a great one, man. Heroes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interviews. And have a great one. We're out of here. Peace.
Sing it with me, pretty Cali.